To all Africans who are hearing me, the system, in fact, the Western system of education that was brought to Africa some centuries ago was to deceive Africa and was to colonize Africa, was to make sure Africa never succeed, and was to make sure black people in Africa are forever defeated. The white man bring the system of education to Africa. It wasn't to help Africa at all. If you're listening to me, hear this very, very well. A lot of Nigerians youth, in fact, a lot of African youth thought that education, schooling in the university is the key. The white man system of education is the key to Africans' problem. And you watch it right now, ever since centuries ago that the white man brought their own system of education to Africa, Africa has been going down. Africa has been lacking a lot of things behind. And now we claim that the education is going to give us work, going to give us jobs, going to make our life much more better. But rather it's doing the opposite. That's to say the Western countries never intended to use this education to help us. Their system of education that was brought to Africa was to make sure Africa is forever being defeated so that they can keep on exploiting Africa on a daily basis. So the time we were even uneducated the centuries ago, during the time of our forefathers, our forefathers by then, we were able to build for ourselves and we were able to create for ourselves some jobs. We were able to feed ourselves. We were able to take care of ourselves. A lot of our forefathers then engaged themselves in farming. And as at that time, when you farm that time, you will be able to take care of a family, feed your children, feed your wife, feed all your livelihood. You will be able to feed everybody, even around you, because you have farm. But right now that the education was introduced to Africa, the education was used to drive us out of farming, drive a lot of us out of farming, because why? We thought that farming was very, very hard. We cannot go to the bush and clear and plant crops in there. So we decided now to start going to school, hoping that schooling is going to give us a very, very good freedom to our to solve our problem from poverty. No. Even the time that the education wasn't introduced, as at that time, we were already even living a good life, because why? You're not hungry. You can never be hungry because you have your own farm. Whenever you are hungry, go to your farm and cultivate your and harvest your crops. You're going to feel good. You're going to come back and feed your family and feed your children, feed everybody around you. So ever since the educational system was being introduced down to Africa, especially here in Nigeria or so, we are being forced now, be convinced to say we want to start going to school, hoping that schooling will be the best for us. And right now you can see our youth right now, they are all jobless. Our youth are totally jobless. Honestly, they are all really, really jobless. So, and you can see all these are professors who claim that they are very, very smart, they are very, very intelligent. Hello, professor, you who said that you are smart, you are intelligent. How many problems have you been able to solve for the country? How many problems have you been able to detect and solve for Africa? Hello, professor, you think that you are the one who is very, very brilliant, you know everything. Have you been able to detect that the problem of Africa is not within the African leaders, that rather than it is rather than it is within the Western countries who took it as their birthright to keep on exploiting Africa and colonizing Africa on a daily basis? Have you been able to detect that? So you can see our professors in all these universities who are not being able to solve any problem for the community. You will see a black man here in Africa will say, I'm intelligent and smart, but the road you are passing is bad. Have you been able to fix it? No. Then how are you not smart? That's why Professor Odumeje in his show said the other day that everybody in Nigeria is illiterate, because if you are truly, really, really literate in a country where there are literate people, there are no bad roads. That's a fact. In a country where there are literate people, there are no poverty. Everybody is illiterate. In Nigeria and in Africa, we are being bamboozled to think that we are okay by ourselves, that we can do it by ourselves, by using the system of the white man, not knowing that the system of our forefathers and the system of our local tradition was even the best for us, was the best. All these things was introduced to Africa to keep deceiving us, to make sure that we are being forever defeated. So my brothers and sisters in Africa, in Nigeria, in Burundi, South Africa, wherever you are in Africa, I would like you to please just wake up. We just have to wake up. Let's realize this ourselves. It's time for us to start going back to our tradition, our culture. It's time for us to start going back to the way we were before, because this so-called system of white colonialism and white imperialism is not working for anybody. The capitalist system of America that has been introduced and that has been forced on Nigeria and forced on a lot of African countries is not working for anybody at all. It's not working for anybody at all, because like the system is being made to make people poor and make some few ones rich. Even the international aid that they are sending to Africa on a daily basis is only just being shared among the few top men in Nigeria, so that the poor men can keep envying them, thinking that they are going to be like them one day by following the Western system of education, which is very, very bad. Nothing's going to happen. We just have to realize, and let's take ourselves out from this so-called mentality of following the Western ways of life. You can see our women today now, they will go and buy with one attachment, buy other countries' hair and put it on top of their hair, which is the highest stupidity ever. Why would you go and buy another country's buy another human hair and put it on your hair if you are not that stupid? Have you ever seen a white man buying a black man's hair and putting it on his head? If you are not stupid, have you ever seen an Indian woman buying a black man's head and putting it on his head? If you're not stupid, have you ever seen a European woman buying a black man's head? Have you ever seen a European woman buying a black man's hair and putting it on his head? Have you ever seen that? But African women will buy their hair and put it on their head. That's stupidity. It's our time we start realizing ourselves, start being ourselves, start going back to our culture and tradition. If you find this very helpful, please subscribe or follow me for more. Thank you.